Paul Amadeus Dienach was a Swiss teacher and writer who lived in the early 20th century. What makes him so interesting is that he claimed to have had an extraordinary experience of the future, which he recorded in detail in his diary. According to Dienach, during a prolonged coma in 1921, his spirit traveled into the future and experienced human civilization in the year 3906. This claim has made him a controversial figure in metaphysics, spiritualism, and science fiction circles. But are you curious about the details of this stunning time travel story? If so, keep watching our video. Paul Amadeus Dienach was a language teacher born in Switzerland. He struggled with various illnesses throughout his life and was never in good health. In 1921, he suffered from a rare condition that caused him to fall into a coma-like sleep. The first episode lasted 15 days, while the next one lasted a full year. However, according to him, this period was not just a time of unconsciousness in a hospital bed. During that period, he dreamt of a striking story that he did not tell anyone for fear that no one would believe him and that he would be taken for a fool. After moving to Greece, where he taught German and French, Dienach became close to a student named George Papakatsis, who entrusted him with a bag of documents to be read only after his death. Among these documents was a diary. In it, Dienach claimed that while he was in a coma, his soul passed into the body of another man, Andreas Northam, and he woke up in a world in the year 3906. In this future, our world from the 20th and 21st centuries is already history, and humanity has made great evolutionary and technological advances. When he woke up, he was examined by the people of that time, and it was discovered that his consciousness actually came from the 20th century. The people of the future told Dienach that this was a rare but known phenomenon. Dienach stated that he remembered this process in detail in 3906 and wrote it down in notes after he came out of his coma. These notes were published posthumously by his student and became known as Chronicles from the Future. Dienach's diary describes the cataclysmic events of the 21st and 22nd centuries. The years between 2000 and 2500 are characterized by overpopulation, social inequalities, and incessant wars due to various evils that plague our world today. Due to natural disasters, wars, and epidemics, the world population suffered a massive decline. Especially in the 2300s, there was a major global collapse, after which the survivors created a new social order. This collapse was a turning point that allowed humanity to reach a higher level of consciousness. In 2934, during the so-called Old Age, the first European Assembly was established. This was followed by a global parliament, the Rechtsstaat, which was created in 2936. The parliament was made up not of traditional politicians, but of scientists, technologists, and humanists. Resources were redistributed, and this gave the impression that problems such as climate change, food shortages, and overpopulation had been solved. However, national governments resisted accepting centralized power and opposed the system for centuries. In 2984, in the Valley of Roses between Greece and Macedonia, a spiritual movement called the Group of 200 was born. The aim of this movement was to achieve complete spiritual freedom, known as the Overseemans. Despite this, humanity was plunged into a kind of dark age. This period ended in 3382, the first year of the New Age, when people gained the spiritual ability called Samuth, or hypersight/hyperintuition, which gave them direct access to the Great Light, similar to the Aristotelian Master Force. Different religious sects continued to exist because Samuth was at the heart of every exoteric ritual. After nearly 1,000 years of the Dark Age, humanity entered a new golden age. Scientists and technocrats were replaced by universal creators, thinkers, artists, and mystics. According to Dienach, the world in 3906 is governed by a completely different system than today. People have left behind wars and hunger and have created a more advanced civilization. Here are some important details about the future he describes. First, the world is no longer governed by nation-states. Instead, there is a single global system of governance. Humanity has moved beyond individual ambition and materialism and has developed a more spiritual and collective consciousness. Money and economic systems have largely disappeared. People no longer have to work to meet their needs because the level of prosperity in society is sufficient for everyone. There has also been great progress in science and technology. Diseases have been largely eliminated, and people are living much longer. Human abilities, such as telepathy and mental communication, have improved. People can now communicate through thoughts instead of speech. New energy sources have been discovered, and old energy systems, such as fossil fuels, are long gone. Humans now live largely in harmony with nature. The diaries, translated into Greek and published by his student, attracted great interest, especially in esoteric and metaphysical circles in Greece. However, the publication of the diary caused controversy. Some claimed it was science fiction or a philosophical novel, while others believed it was a record of a real experience. In fact, Dienach's claims can be questioned in many ways. For example, from a scientific point of view, it is not a proven phenomenon that the human soul crosses over into another body or travels into the future. Historically, such events have been described in many different cultures. Some spiritualists and mystics, for example, have claimed to have experienced similar journeys of consciousness. From a literary point of view, some experts have considered Dienach's writings to be a metaphysical novel or a fictional narrative. However, many people find his writings interesting and thought-provoking because some of the predictions in his diary have intriguing parallels with the modern world. Dienach's story, whether fact or fiction, offers a unique perspective on the future. His tale makes us reflect on the possible evolution of humanity, the future of technology, and the journey of the soul through time. To some, he is a prophet. To others, he is simply an imaginative writer. But one thing is certain. Paul Amadeus Dienach's alleged journey into the future continues to intrigue many years later.